All right, guys, so I have about 4 stacks of movies like this that I'm going to be talking about right now for you to find some new movies that maybe you might want to check out, pick up, and just see what I've added to the collection. This is the Calm Before the Storm haul. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be going through a stack of movies that I got that either I bought, were gifted to me, or, you know, just stuff that we've picked up along the way. I actually want to do one for my books and comics that I got because someone has donated quite a bit of those to me. I also have some other things that I wanted to show you too, but I'm going to go with this for now. And this is the reason I'm calling this the Calm Before the Storm haul, is because this is like the small one, and it's not small. But compared to what I got on the next one, it's gonna blow your fucking mind. So I'll sneak a pic in of what to expect with that one somewhere in this video so that you watch the whole thing, okay? But seriously, watch this whole video because you're going to find some stuff that you would never even hear about, maybe don't know about. It's going to be some good stuff in here that I haven't seen yet or have seen and just wanted to get copies of. So let's get into it. First up, I did want to mention this. Now, this is a haul that has been a couple of months, okay? Just never got around to doing it because it takes a lot to edit these things. I'm going to try to whip through these, but Jason from Sinister Cinema, who does a really great review channel and has seen a lot of movies like me. He likes to dig through piles like I do and pretty much watch everything so he can find those gems and then tell you about them. We have different tastes. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But one thing we do agree on is we love the Blair Witch. We love the story, we love the lore, we like the original movie, even if it hasn't, you know, stayed up to date. And he was showing me his collection of it, and he showed me that he had these, and I was like, holy shit, what are those? First one is Rustin Parr, which is the guy from the movie, and then The Legend of Coffin Rock, and then, of course, the Ellie Kedward tale. These are video games that you can play on your PC that they put out for a limited time for like back in the day. And there are patches for them now, but you have to find them online. I got these for like 25 bucks. So just wanted to share it with you. All right, up next, we got The Possession of David O'Reilly, which this is a fantastic movie. I actually got this confused with another movie that I did in another haul. And I think it was another possession movie that I really wasn't sure of. But this is the one that I was actually talking about. This one is the one about the guy that's stuck in the house, and then he has like some sort of, you know, fear of going out of the house, but he's also been possessed, and like there's like these creatures lurking around in the dark, and it is some of the most unsettling, crazy shit that I've seen in a horror movie. Very scary stuff. This is pre, you know, a lot of movies that scared me since, so I haven't seen it since then, but this was kind of an underrated one. It ends a little funky. There's like a twist at the end, and it was kind of you know, the journey there is still good, and there's some valid stuff in this movie. And it only is a DVD. I think you might be able to buy it for digital on Blu-ray or, you know, 1080p, but freaking great. The Possession of David O'Reilly. Definitely get it. Up next, we got a set of movies that I reviewed called Intensely Independent, the micro-budget films of Blake Eckard, which this was a very, very specific brand of indie filmmaking that is really good, but also not everyone's cup of tea. But there's something to be said about it. I have a whole review of it if you want to find it. Up next, we got this is Creepshow 3 on Blu-ray from Plemke. He had bought me this months ago and sent me out a box full of stuff, and I have not been able to get to it. So thank you, Plemke. I really appreciate you, buddy. He holds on to some of the more rare stuff, and then like you know, keeps it for a very long time. He's a collector too, but yeah, I actually didn't mind this movie. It's nothing like the first two, clearly, but everybody's expectations on Creepshow are just like through the roof. Like they expect every anthology to match the first Creepshow, and it's just not gonna happen. This one is not that great. It was done by like a whole nother group, and it was done very cheaply, even more cheap than the TV show. But I actually didn't mind it. Up next, another one from Plemke, which is the first season of From Dusk Till Dawn, which is pretty much like the first, like the movie. Like they redo it with all these characters, so they go through all the steps of the first movie, and then it continues on pretty much. Everything is the exact same just about, and it's not too bad actually. Even for tracing some of the steps, it's not that bad. Titan, which everybody has this insane time trying to say the name, but Titan, I've talked about this many times. I did it in one of my recent like list videos, but fantastic body horror movie that is like family issues, and just there's so much packed into this movie. But man, what a hell of a movie, dude. Like this is a crazy film, and I had to own it. It was one of my favorite movies one year. Up next, we got 13 Game of Death, unrated, which if you've ever heard of a movie called 13 Sins, this is the Thai, I believe it's Thai, but this is the original film that the movie is sort of loosely based off of. So if you've seen 13 Sins, I'd highly recommend watching that, by the way, but I've never seen the original. So I bought it, and I've been so swamped. I've been wanting to see this really bad to kind of review it for you guys. But yeah, it is pretty violent and crazy. But a man down on his luck, salesman, has lost his job, his car, his girlfriend, when a cell phone caller offers him $100 million to play a game show featuring 13 secret challenges. And the catch, the test grows increasingly intense and morally questionable, but if he quits, he loses everything. It's loaded with diabolical twists to lead shocking end. And yeah, the other one is just like that in a way, except he gets more money as each of the ones go on. So he's not like, he doesn't lose anything if he leaves. Both of these are just wonderful concepts. I mean, who'd want to watch a movie where a guy goes out and starts wreaking havoc on people for money? I mean, that's just like awesome. So I really want to watch this. Up next, one of my favorite movies of the year, and everybody hates or loves, and that is La Mesita del Comedor, the coffee table, essentially, okay? I found a Blu-ray copy online and was like, ooh, I gotta get this instantly. I bought the digital, I bought a DVD, which I loaned out to somebody, and they need to give it back. Angie. But yeah, I bought the Blu-ray of this because I wanted to have a good copy, and this actually was available for a time, and it's all region, and yeah, it has subtitles for English and everything, and I don't think you can even buy it anymore, but if I can find it, I'll put a link on the Amazon shop that we have. So up next, Crimes of the Future on DVD. I didn't really absolutely love this film, but there's something to be said about it. There's some weird shit in it, and I definitely need to get a Blu-ray of this for David Cronenberg, especially, if not a 4K. I probably should get a 4K of just about everything that he does because I absolutely love Cronenberg. And I do have a few. I think I have like Videodrome, which I have a couple of copies of that on 4K. Existence, which Vinegar Syndrome put out on 4K, which is really good. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but you know, this one's not as good as Videodrome or Existence or Naked Lunch, but it's still a good movie, and Christina found it for like $4. Up next, I did a whole video on this. This is the Gonjiam Haunted Asylum, one of the first Korean found footage films in history. It's from Second Sight. You can check out the video if you want to find out about it. Fantastic found footage film. Metamorphosis. Okay, now I did a review of this on the channel here for a video, and I think I gave it like a 6.5. It was like, there was something that happened in the movie that I kind of lost interest, but man, I was really into this movie until the very end. So I got this really cheap at like Hamilton Book, which if you've never been to Hamilton Book, pay attention. Some people get mad at me for sharing that one because there's like such great deals on movies that you can get. But this is a Shudder release that I never got, and I like to collect all the Shudder ones that I like, at least. And this one I didn't mind, so I figured I'd give it a shot again and watch it. But I don't remember exactly what it was about. It says, after a failed exorcism, a priest renounces his practice and leads a life of solitude. But when his brother's family moves to the neighborhood on the other side of town, it becomes clear that an evil entity has followed them to their new home. As each of them becomes possessed by the devil, the priest has little choice but to perform one last exorcism for the sake of his family. And there's some pretty crazy stuff in this. This one got pretty graphic and dark. I got that for like $4. ABCs of Death 2. Got this for like $5, $4 on Hamilton Book as well. I love the series. I love 1 and 2, and then there's another one I think, but I can't get that one. But yeah, I like this and VHS, and these two. I haven't had this one, so I found it on there for like $4 or $5. Picked it up instantly. Up next, we got an entire YouTube video for every single episode of this Lovecraft series. So if you're curious about what we thought of it, we literally break down what everything meant in each episode. I really enjoyed watching this, and it taught me so much about the history of America. And like, there's some episodes in here that are so violent and crazy, and like some of the history in this is just insanely traumatic. There was like an episode in here where I like cried almost. Like, it's really good. It's a little jumbled for some people because the book was written, like the novel was written to basically take things in history that were predominantly like white popular things, like Indiana Jones, or, you know, something that was like really famous, and then sort of paint it in a different way. And there's like different stories in the Lovecraft Country that kind of cover each one of those sort of demographics or genres, you know, like different stories and stuff. And they're really good. Like, this was actually a really damn good series. It was like an 8 out of 10. I think I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10, but just because it's a little all over the place, and I would have loved to seen his second season, but they never got it. But I'm glad I have it. Up next, another one of my favorite movies of the year is Stop Motion. Now, this is a movie that a lot of people have not been a big fan of. The ones that are really big fans of this movie. But, you know, it's not going to hit everybody the same. And I think it's because it's a creative person's kind of movie, and they're telling the story through, you know, it's a little bit slow, but they use claymation and everything in it. I did a huge review of this that really kind of blew up, and if you haven't seen that review, you should check it out. But yeah, I love this movie. Been waiting to get this one. Hardcore Henry, first person shooter kind of movie. It has Charlito Copley in it, who did the District 9 guy. You know, that guy. He was also in like A-Team, the remake movie. He's in this movie as a couple of different characters, but this is all from the perspective of first person. It's a fun movie. A lot of people get really critical about this one, but it's just a lot of fun, in my opinion. I really enjoy it. There are some other first-person films that are kind of like it, but deal with horror. I think it's called Hotel Inferno, which is the first one. But yeah, it's like going in through a haunted ride and just kind of running around. But this one's more action and like aliens and stuff like that. But I really like this. I thought it was a lot of fun. Up next, we got Message from Space. This was done, I think, in 79, but 78. So it was just after Star Wars. Japan saw that movie and was like, hold my beer, I'm gonna do one too. And they made a Star Wars version of their own with different characters, and they did some tokusatsu stuff where there's like people wearing like crazy costumes and stuff that you would see in like a Power Rangers kind of thing with like the monsters that they fight in those. But yeah, this one's definitely something I haven't seen yet. It's a little bit on the long side, and I think this is Region B. Yeah, it's Region B from Eureka, but I had to pick up a copy because my player plays it. There's even a TV show that they did of this that I would love to get, but it's a little bit on the pricey side to get right now, and I hope they re-release it. But pretty fun stuff. If you like tokusatsu stuff and you like Star Wars, this one's actually pretty cool looking. I watched a little bit of it. I just need to sit down and really watch it. Up next, we got Highlander, The Raven. Now, Resolution on the last haul got me all the Highlander series just about. He forgot to get this one, so this one came a little late, but it came nonetheless. So thanks, man. I still haven't cracked into the Highlander series yet. There's just so much to get to. I got quite a few from Kino. They had a sale, and this one looked really fun. This is Tom Burlinson and Nikki Coghill, The Time Guardian.
Time is just about the only thing he won't waste.
But if you look on the back, I mean, there is some pretty cool looking cheese ball 80s stuff. And is that Princess Leia? I can't even tell. Anyway, it looks really cool, and I love cheesy, like 80s, like weird shit like that. So here, let's see. In the year 4039, holy shit, the human race nears extinction under the rule of the beast-like creatures. An entire city travels through time in hopes of evading capture and forever changing the future. Now see it from a brand new HD remaster in widescreen screens.
From a city that travels in time, and we can choose what time zone we want to appear in.
Up next, one of my favorite, this is probably my all-time favorite spaghetti western movie, aside from like Django and Django Lives. There's a whole series of Django movies that I have a couple, but this is kind of the movie that was inspired by Akira Kurosawa. I think it was Yojimbo. This guy, Sergio Leone, actually copied almost every single frame of it, but made it in a Western instead of the sort of Japanese style samurai sword fight kind of thing. Both of them are really good. And this is one of the best, more raw, gritty ones in my personal opinion. And to have this on 4K was just fantastic. So I watched some of it already. I love this movie. I could rewatch it a million times. I like it more than The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which everybody loves, but I think mostly because of that song. It is a good movie, but this one's just so much more gritty in my opinion. Up next, we got Eden Log, which is a sci-fi film that Resolution got me. It's called Escape from Darkness. Now this was an underground, and I believe it's French, but there was two different versions, and this was like a really cool movie, but the English dubs were really bad. And it was so bad that a lot of people really just did not want to watch this movie. I think that's how I recall it, at least for me it was. So he found a copy that actually had English subtitles with the original French language. I want to watch this as soon as possible. It's another one of those sort of alien sort of feeling movies, but it says a man wakes up deep inside a cave, suffering from amnesia. He has no recollection of how he came to be there or what happened to the man whose body he finds beside him. Tailed by a mysterious creature, the forgotten man embarks upon a journey through this strange and fantastic world, desperately struggling to find his way to the surface. Never seen it with the original French language, so I'm kind of curious what it's like. I don't think I've seen this since like the 90s, the early 90s, or whenever this came out. Whenever it first came out, I saw it, but I am kind of curious to see it again. So thanks, Resolution. Up next, this one I picked up from Kino that Resolution suggested to me, so I went out and picked it up because I love my cosmic horror / cosmic anything, whether it's a cosmic like comedy, if it has any kind of like mind expanding crazy shit in it, I'm all about it. Like I love stuff like that. This one's one I have not watched yet, but I picked up on a whim because it was on sale. I think it was like $7.99 I got it for on sale. But it says, after witnessing the alien abduction of her mother as a child, Aurora, Camille Rowe, joins the UFO cult, the Cosmic Dawn, which at the cult's remote compound, Aurora experiences miraculous revelations and consciousness expanding flowers. But all isn't as it seems when the cult leader, Elise, now moved on from the cult. Aurora is forced to confront her past and pursue the ultimate truth about the Cosmic Dawn. But yeah, it's not really a horror movie, but it has some elements in it that are really super trippy, and I had to pick it up. So we got another TV show that I have. I actually got it in the last haul, but forgot to add it in there because I was watching it and didn't add it. But Mr. Show. So yeah, Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul had a TV show with David Cross. They're both stand-up comedians and both actors. And they, you know, most of their stuff is like writing sketch comedy. They had a show called Mr. Show that was really fantastic. And this is like every season. And man, I love this show. This was like, I would smoke and then watch this or take an edible, whatever, and then watch this. And it was just like satire of the world and like making fun of people. There's just so many things. They had Jack Black, Sarah Silverman, Brian Posehn. There is a ton of actors and people that were in this show that you'll recognize that are in everything nowadays, including Bob Odenkirk and David Cross. Some people consider it to be the best sketch comedy in the world. They borrowed heavily from Monty Python by connecting all of their skits in some way, but it is very different humor. All right, up next, we got another one. MVD had a sale, and I had to pick up from them. This is Mikey, one of my favorite So Bad It's Good films. If you like So Bad It's Good, this is definitely going to be one that you should check out. It's about a killer kid. And this family adopts this kid who just starts killing everybody off by like some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. But it's hilarious and it's really good. It made me laugh so much. It's so rewatchable. It's so funny, dude. There's a scene where this boyfriend is like, he likes the girl across, like the neighbor's girl, and then the guy came over into their pool and is like sitting in the pool and he just kicks in the boom box or whatever. It's just how mean this kid is. It's pretty crazy, but I love this movie. They had a copy come in, they made some extras, and I was like, I gotta get it. So I picked it up. I think I got it for like $10. Up next, we got Takashi Miike's Sukiyaki Western Django. Speaking of Westerns and, you know, Japanese, this is the combination of the two. In fact, you'll have a special role in there by Quentin Tarantino, which, if you know anything about Takashi Miike, who made this film, a lot of people were calling him the Japanese Quentin Tarantino. And so, of course, Quentin Tarantino, I'm probably sure wanted to check out what this guy had going on. But if you don't know Takashi Miike, he has made a lot of different films. And I had to pick this one up. It wasn't my favorite one of his, but it is a little weird, and I like Westerns, and I like Takashi Miike, so I had to get it. We got a 4K here of Leviathan, which went on sale too on Kino, and I picked it up. This has some really great practical effects in it. If you've never seen this movie, a lot of people really like it, but I always tell people to kind of tone their expectations a little bit, because it's one of those like 7.5 movies for me where it's like really rewatchable, but it's not like a perfect film, and it kind of lags in some spots, but it has some really cool sort of Lovecraftian themes in it. It's got Peter Weller in it, who did RoboCop and many other wonderful films like Screamers, which is really good. This is the 4K scan of the 35mm interpositive, which is great. Sci-fi thriller starring Peter Weller, Richard Crenna, and featuring nonstop action of nerve-shattering suspense and awesome creatures by special effects legend Stan Winston from Aliens. On the dark and foreboding ocean floor, the crew in the deep-sea mining rig discover a sunken freighter that harbors a deadly secret, a genetic experiment gone horribly wrong. With a storm raging on the surface and no hope of rescue, the captain and his team are propelled into a spine-tingling battle for their survival against the ultimate foe, a hideous monster that cannot die and lives to kill. It's got a mix of The Abyss, because that's the straight-up story from The Abyss. They're down there mining, and there's a storm raging up top. And then some stuff happens where there's creatures that come up, but they're not angry. Sounds like that, but this one's like underwater and the abyss. This one I've never seen. I've been wanting to see it. They just put out a 4K copy of it, and I didn't know. I bought this right before they started doing it. But whatever, it's Zoltan, Hound of Dracula, which I've heard is like one of those kind of like crazy 70s films. What is it? 1977. Just seems really weird. I have no idea what this one's about, but if you like weird schlocky 70s films, this is definitely one you're probably going to want to watch. This one, a lot of people are divided on. I like it. It's called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, and it's a vampire movie done in sort of a romantic, also hipstery kind of way. I know that terminology is not really used anymore, but yeah, it was considered hipstery. But I really like the director a whole lot. She's amazing. And I've seen her other movies that she did that, you know, she put out, but Lily Amarpour, she does a really good job for a lot of movies. She never tells anybody what they mean. And so some people, like one of her last movies, they didn't really know what it meant. And it seems kind of political, so a lot of people were a little turned off by it. But this one in particular, I thought was pretty cool. It's really different, but it's also shot really well. And it's one of those movies that once you watch it, you may not love it at first, but it'll stick with you. And then you'll want to watch it again and again. And it grows on you as the more you think about it and some of the moments that happen in it. I really actually like this movie quite a bit, and I've been following her ever since. Up next, we got a few that I did, some that were given to me. I'll try to go through the ones that I did. American Psycho. Resolution actually sent me this one before that, but I also got a copy from their special edition from Imprint, which I did a full review on. Thank you both. If you want to check that out, you can. We got Profane Exhibit from Unearthed, which I got to see, which is an anthology that took 10 years to make. And it finally got out. I got to check it out. I wasn't blown away by it, but, you know, for those who like exploitation and extreme gore, there's some stuff in here that you'll probably enjoy. Plus, it's a piece of history. This one, underrated, two Taoist tales, the Taoism Drunkard, the Young Taoism Fighter, and I even watched one that's on Prime Channel, which was called like the Tao Drunkard. I can't remember what it is, but there's 3 films, and it's from the Yun Clan. Loved this. The Yun Clan is amazing. Their movies are fantastic, and they are so entertaining, even if they're not well acted. They have some of the best stunt work and just crazy stuff in the film. You got Viva la Muerte, which is Fernando Arrabal, which he was the guy that inspired Jodorowsky, Parawana Man, and Aikini Man, which were 2 movies from Wild Eye Releasing that MVD sent out to me that I reviewed that you can check out. These are Japanese slasher films. 2 very different ones about a similar character. They're kind of meta. Streets of Fire, which I have been wanting to see this movie. I think I might have seen it when I was a kid, but this has Willem Dafoe is in this movie and quite a few others, but it's like a musical, and it was like a movie that they made that a lot of people didn't like when it came out, but it's like so oddly bizarre, and Willem Dafoe gives his all in this movie, and it's just one that I've been wanting to watch for a while. But Plemke sent this out to me from Shout Select, and I thank you, buddy. I appreciate that, man. I've been wanting this. This is cool. I didn't even know they had a copy of this out, but Plemke sent me this as well. It's Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. This is the movie that they played, or is it Captain EO that I'm thinking of? But this is Moonwalker, the movie that he has, and I think it's like a short. I don't think it's like, no, it's 93 minutes actually, so I don't remember anything about this, but he sent it out to me. I think it's not regioned, I don't think, but even if it is, I have a player that'll play it. So yeah, I can't remember if he sent this to me or who sent this to me, but I always pick up Stephen King stuff, and wait till you see the next haul, guys, because yeah, this is the Langoliers on DVD. G-Saver, the movie, which is kind of like a tokusatsu sort of live action, I think. Hard to explain, but this is like a Gundam movie. Plemke sent this one out to me, which I thought was really cool because he knows I love live action movies because they're like fun. Even if they're shitty, they're just fun. There's something about them I love. Yeah, speaking of which, Street Fighter. This is the limited edition. It's 2164 Region B 88 films version of Street Fighter the movie, which is super cool. You can even see that it's got like a number on there. But yeah, I haven't seen this in forever. It's kind of ridiculous. It's got Raul Julia, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. But yeah, thanks, Plemke. Also another one from Plemke. We got BoJack Horseman season 1 and 2, which is always fun. I don't think I saw season 2, but thanks, man. I appreciate that. Lately, I've been wanting to watch a lot more comedy. just because of the election. It's just been terrible. We got a few more here. This one I did a review of, Cocaine Werewolf. Wasn't a big fan of this one, I gotta be honest, but it's from the Mark Polania from the Polania brothers, the one that passed away that, you know, before. But he did quite a few movies, and this is Cocaine Werewolf, which was all over the place. There was moments in it that I did like, but I wasn't amazed by it, so it wasn't as funny as I was expecting. Terror Firma, play on words. Very cool indie movie. I really like this one. It's not going to be for everyone. If you appreciate creativity on a budget, this is a movie that these are the kind of people you root for. It was made in the middle of the whole 2020 thing that happened, and they did it in their own house, and they did it with everything that they had and owned and made everything in it. And, you know, it's not a big budget film, but they did a really cool job. And it's about these people taking a bunch of stuff and tripping the fuck out, and then things going into other dimensions and stuff like that. It's pretty wild. Pretty big idea for a very indie film, but I really liked it. High crime, sick ass fucking Blue Underground movie on 4K, by the way. Never seen it. It's an Enzo G. Castellari, a film with Franco Nero, who was in Django and was, you know, Django basically. But yeah, this is a really underrated film, and it's dark. That whole trope with the like cop being like kind of out of control, that's this guy, and he goes way out of control. And the bad guys go way out of control and run people over like kids and shit. So it's pretty wild. Obviously, I love these two. MVD sent this with Synapse Films. I did a review of those. Check them out, Demons 1 and 2. One of my buddies, John Hale, The Conduit, which was one of his first shorts. He did a really kick-ass short in this one, and I've been meaning to pick it up for quite a while. And so I finally did like a while ago, and I haven't even gotten a chance to watch it yet. It's still sealed. But there's some pretty cool shorts on here, specifically John's, which I buy always for John because I just like to collect his stuff because he's a good buddy of mine. And he's a big supporter of this show, and he's a very talented individual. So, but yeah, he does a really cool one about this kid who, him and his father are having like issues, and they go to this underground cavern, and there's like a monster in there. Also, we got Swamp Thing, which this was the 88 films. It's a Blu-ray DVD special edition version, which I do have the 4K of this, but this has extras on it that I do not have for the other one. At least I don't think. But yeah, very cool. Wes Craven film? Yeah. One of his first films, and they really kind of held him back on what he could do with the movie. But Adrian Barbeau's in it, and I just recently did a review of it, so check it out. Thank you, Plemke. We also got Speed Racer, which is pretty cool. A lot of people love this movie. It was hated when it came out. Another live action, film. A lot of people love this now, and I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through. So Plemke sent it out to me because he knows I love the live action. Thank you, dude. Very cool. Up next, we got another one from Plemke, Enemy Mine. This one's a crazy Louis Gossett Jr. and Dennis Quaid, where Dennis Quaid and this alien sort of fall in love. It's weird. It's it's a little bit ahead of its time, I think, in some ways. But it was slid into the 80s like a thief in the night. And it's an Umbrella release, so they put this out, and I've been wanting to see it. I know it's up on streaming everywhere, but having a physical copy is always best. We also have Mystery Men. This is the special edition 88 films one again. I think this is another Region B, yep. And this is like a nice version of it. At the time, they didn't have even a Blu-ray of it, but I think they have a 4K of it now. But this is the special one. I like 88 films. They do really good extras as well, so I'm sure any of the ones that he got me with 88 have some really great extras. Two left, guys, and then we're done. We got Dolan's Cadillac. Now, funny enough, on the next haul, I got this too, but Dolan's Cadillac, I think this is the only one that is on Blu. It's pretty rare to get on Blu-ray, by the way, is with Christian Slater and Wes Bentley, and it's a Stephen King story, which I've never even seen this, and I got 2 copies now that I gotta watch, so thank both of you. You'll see it on the next one, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, thank you, Plemke. And then last but not least, everybody's fun movie to watch when they were a kid. We'd pop it in, grandma would hand out Punch to everybody, and we would just watch it and have a laugh, you know, have a good time. And that's Faces of Death. All right, so yeah, maybe that didn't happen. But yeah, Faces of Death. I got a lot of shit for this movie, by the way. I was telling a story on TikTok about how when we were younger, we used to go down to our friend's house and like his mom would like rent these movies for us. The like, you know, Faces of Death 1 and 2. There was like 4 or 5 of them. And surprisingly enough, they only put out 1 Blu-ray, and Gorgon Entertainment put it out, and 4 or 5, I can't remember, but I just got all of the other ones. So not a movie that I necessarily absolutely love to watch. It definitely makes you appreciate life. Partially fake, partially real. A lot of them were fake. Some of it was just old footage of like pigs and things, if I recall. And then there was like a monkey that was fake. They were bashing it on the head. Just some really dark stuff. But these used to be the thing that we would watch when we were kids because we didn't have the internet. And if you can imagine, we have everything at our fingertips now, so we can watch any kind of crazy shit. And we've already been down that road. This was our internet, is watching VHS and betas and then putting it on in the VCR and watching it. So we kind of pushed it pretty hard. And some people laugh at me because this is so not that bad compared to like Traces of Death or some other ones that they did later on, because it was just not something that the family wanted to have in their home. Anyway, thank you, Plemke, for this. This is a pretty rare copy, by the way. I did get some for the next haul, you'll see, so you're gonna want to stay tuned for that. That's everything here that I got from the haul from months ago, and I have another one. I'm going to do it very soon. It's going to be a 2-hour video probably, and I'm going to trim this one down to try to make it down to like 30-40 minutes, but I hope you watch the other video because you're going to also enjoy that just as much as this one, and this is going to blow your mind, guys. Like, you have to watch these haul videos, okay? I need to get you to watch them because this is just, I love talking about these movies. And if you know me and you like to be, find movies that you like, these are the best way to do it. This is the best way. So trust me, watch this one, share it with your friends, and then wait for the next one, which will be hopefully in a couple of weeks. It's going to take a long time to edit, but I'm going to go through it as quick as I can. Thank you for watching this. If you watched it to the end, stay flabbergasted in the comment section because you're fucking awesome and I love you for watching this. And yeah, thanks for coming by. Thanks Plemke, Resolution, MBD, Synapse, everyone that donated, Imprint, everyone that's been a supporter of this show, watching it, donating to it. I love you all. Thank you so much for all your support. And as always, long live the void.